Hallelujah, Shalom, Asalam.
Quiet really fast. Good morning and aloha, everyone. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Kauai. My name is Michelle May, and I'm a licensed practitioner on the Board of Trustees, and I get the privilege to share with you all the good things that we've got going on here at the center. But first and foremost, did we have any birthdays in the month of September? Yay! Awesome! Beautiful! Lots! Well, we are going to sing to you now. We're going to start off service singing Happy Birthday.
Happy birthday to you,
And you, and you.
happy birthday to you,
And you, and you.
happy birthday,
Dear September people. Happy birthday
to you.
Yay. Happy birthday, September birthdays. And please join us after service for some beautiful cake that Miss Emma brought for us. So thank you, Emma, for the cake. She was also on the Malama team welcoming you and greeting you this morning. Well, we have some really great workshops coming up. Something very powerful that Reverend Patrick's going to be doing for 2 Thursdays. It's going to be starting this Thursday, October 4th, and then October 11th from 6 to 8. And it's called Reparenting Your Inner You. And it is... Yeah. I think we should all be saying a yeah. Ready? Yeah. Absolutely. Our inner child, if we're not paying attention and talking, it's screaming. So there will be no child left inside from this workshop. So come and join Reverend Patrick for this powerful worship, it really is powerful. And we're going to be exploring our inner us's, our little ones, and learning techniques for raising our frequency and creating a new story in our lives. So pretty powerful. There is a sign-up sheet out back on the information table for those of you who are interested in joining us, and it's $20 per class. And then on October 6th, this coming Saturday from 9 to noon in the morning. This is also something very powerful, very relevant, and very, I would say, timely. It is all about, it's a suicide prevention program. It's put on by Suicide Prevention Kauai Task Force. And what it is, they are actually coming here and going to be doing a training called Safe Talk. So it's all about learning how to listen for cues and be there for someone who may be suffering or contemplating suicide or just not having a good day in the sense of it being a chronic, maybe possibly heading in the direction of. So it is something that is available to everyone, whether or not they are members of CSL or not. This is a community event. Reverend Diane has been our outreach task force person and has invited these folks to come in. It's all the professionals that are going to be coming in and training us. And it's something that really could be utilized in all of our lives to help people everywhere. Again, no matter if you are here visiting or you live here on island, it's definitely a bit of an epidemic here on island. It's an epidemic here on island, and this is one way where we can learn how to support, how to see the signs, and how to get someone help, and where to go to get that help. So thank you, Reverend Diane, for bringing that here, and that's going to be Saturday from 9 to noon, and that is the Safe Talk from. And it is free, thank you. Yes, it is a free training workshop gathering for us in the community. So there are flyers. We also have a sign-up sheet on the info table. So feel free to grab some flyers and share it out in the community because, again, it's for anyone and everyone here on Kauai to help out. So if you're part of other organizations, if you go to other circles and groups, please spread the word and invite everyone. That's how important this is. And then the following Tuesday, we are going to have Reverend Patrick doing our meditation night. We are going to be doing 2 meditation nights a month, and that's going to be Tuesday, October 9th, 6:30 to 7:30. Please join us for that. We do still have some spots for Sacred Journey, which is going to be in January. So those of you watching online, come to Kauai. It's January. Poof! Come to Kauai. And then on October 28th, the end of October, we will be having a new Member Sunday where we will be just celebrating and welcoming everyone who has just wanted CSL Kauai to be their spiritual home. So if you have questions about that, you can certainly see me. But if you are wondering what that means, it's just making a commitment to your spiritual growth and your spiritual journey. And you don't even need to live here. There you go. And you can be members of multiple centers. Visitors. Just a hint. All right. Well, thank you for your kind attention. Enjoy your service. And I'd like to introduce Reverend Rita and Reverend Patrick.
Wow. Once again, Michelle, you let it all out there with gusto.
It's fine. We got the right ones now.
Yes.
He likes the loud one for some reason. I don't know why.
Aren't we doing the peace candle? Yes. Aloha.
So let's just take it in, go within. And I think we know this already, but it has been scientifically proven that when people gather together and think peace, that it actually does make changes in the world. And that's what we're doing right now, is finding that place within us that is peace, that's always there for us. Gathering our attention and bringing our attention to that space and just having a moment of silence there together as we envision that peace moving from us out into the world. And so I know that there is one mind and one heart in which we all live and move and have our being. And I know that mind and heart is the mind and heart of peace. And as we have taken this moment, I know that our consciousness moves out from this place and uplifts this planet in this moment and reverberates in that feeling of peace coming from within us and out into the world, into the universe. And I give gratitude for that as I just affirm, and so it is. Thank you.
Wow. It's so nice to have our new candle holder here. Miss Emma, thank you once again. It's just so nice not to have to move it back and forth. It's just there, and it's beautiful, and it's classy, and it belongs to all of us.
Yeah. So welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Kauai. We are so grateful to have your consciousness here today because we know how important consciousness is. It's all that we are. And that's what we practice here, is understanding that that consciousness that we are is the consciousness of God, the consciousness of love, the consciousness of spirit, whatever we want to call it, it's one thing. And as we move and have our being in that, and as we express that in our lives, we actually activate something that we call the law of cause and effect that is the very essence of our being also, that just moves out into our experience. So we practice doing our best to think from that highest place and to live our lives from that highest place. So thank you for being here today, and I'm looking forward to this whole service and this whole idea of poof.
I guess you've noticed the title of our message today is Poof. So we'll see how much poof we have today. So poofing right along. It's going to be a long hour or so, folks. You might as well buckle in. Yeah. So who is here for the first time and is going, what? Who's here? I know that right here. We recognize you by your beautiful shells. Oh, and we have a new guy over
How
here.
cool is that? Is that the Cookie Monster or something?
It's so
That's the
lonely
cookies.
being blue.
So we know something about you, and now I really know something about you. So what I do know is that we know something, and we always like to share it with you, and it is kind of personal. It's right there deep inside. So let's let them know what we know about them, shall we? You are magnificent.
You are magnificent.
Woohoo! Yes.
You are magnificent.
Yes, you are magnificent. And just like when we talk about peace starts with us first, that's how we know that you're magnificent, because we know that about ourselves. So shall we say that all together, please? I am magnificent. And if you'll take a little peek over there, where that very professional Rob Jones, not only is he a practitioner, but he's also allowing what happens in CSL Kauai doesn't stay here. It goes out onto the mainland, and those people that are home right now that are just woke up and said, hey, I think I'll plug him on in. There, we'd like to thank you, Rob, for that, because all of those people get to be a part of our Ohana when they're not here. So let's let them know who they are, shall we?
You are magnificent.
Now look to your left, to your right. I don't care where you look. Just let somebody know who they are. You're magnificent.
Magnificent.
You're magnificent.
You're all.
You are magnificent. After the second phrase. Okay, I'll look at you. I'll give you the look.
All right. So why don't we get up on our magnificent feet and have our opening song with Barbara Davis.
Inspired by the words of Emma Curtis Hopkins, written by Karen Mitchell.
My good is my God is my good. All the good there is belongs to me. My good is my God is my good. All the good I seek belongs to me, and that's my truth with a capital T. It's all about living free. My good is my God. My good is my God. I have all I ever need. My good is my God. My joy is my good is my joy. All the joy there is belongs to me. My joy is my good is my joy. All the love there is belongs to me, and that's my truth with a capital T. It's all about living free. My good is my God.
So what I know is it doesn't matter how we say it, it is always good. And that good is my God. Say it with me. My good is my God. So what I know and celebrate is each and every one of us here today expressing that divinity, that divine frequency that is moving through and as us right here and right now. No matter where we are, there is not a place where good is not. So let's celebrate this Ohana today, this coming together, not as separate, but coming together as one. Individualized, perhaps, but always connected to the same source. That is how close we are. So I know as much as my next breath is the breath of God, I celebrate each and every one of us today. And we go forward in this service knowing who and what we are, and that is good, that is God. So I say mahalo. Say mahalo with me. Mahalo. And we let it be, we let it go, and so it is.
My good is my love is my good. All the love there is belongs to me. My good is my love is my good. All the love I seek belongs to me, and that's my truth with a capital T. It's all about living free. My good is my God. My good is my God. I have all I'll ever need. My good is my God. My good is my God.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Good morning, Kauai. You're beautiful today. Well, let's settle in and take a moment for our meditation this morning. If you'll just know that right where you are safe and supported and can just relax into this time of quiet contemplation. When I thought about the title this morning, I went way back. And I brought you a quote, the literal translation of Isaiah 65:24. And it hath come to pass, they that do not yet call, I answer. They that are yet speaking, I hear. And it hath come to pass, they do not yet call, and I answer. They are yet speaking, and I hear. And it hath come to pass, they do not yet call, and I answer. They are not yet speaking, I hear. In this moment, I know that I am centered in the divine presence, that I live and move and have my being as an expression of the one life, that before I speak, thou hast answered, because I am intimately connected with that thing called life. All that I see and cannot see is an expression of the divine. And so I stand centered in it now, knowing that in this power, in this presence, in this love, there is beauty, there is perfect health, there is wholeness of all kinds. There is divine flow of abundance moving in and through everything that I see and cannot see. That includes me and that includes everyone here. We are absolutely centered and grounded right here, right now, with that one power, that one presence. It is us. It is breathing us. It is speaking us. It is moving through us in everything we do. And so I give thanks that each one of us is centered in the wholeness and feeling that divine energy flowing in and through every cell of the body. That we are noticing more good than we have ever seen before coming in and out of our lives in a magnificent watershed flow of good. I give thanks that each one of us are so in tune with the infinite within us that creative self-expression absolutely happens everywhere we go. So we are all in our right livelihood. We are all doing exactly what we're doing on purpose. We are all here for that divine purpose to show up as our lives. Seeing it, knowing it, understanding it to be true right here and right now, I give thanks. What else can you do? Mahalo keakua. And so I release my word. I don't have to do a thing. I just have to stay centered in it all the time. And remember the truth. And allow the law of mind and spirit to do its work in my life in whatever way it would have me be, and in whatever way it would have you be. We are all it. And so I release my word and I let it happen for the highest good of all. Please join me in saying, accepting the truth by saying, and so it is. And so it is.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am.
The words are in your program.
And then it fear and worry wash away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when I feel like I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
Thank you, Reverend Diane. That was amazing. And thank you, Barbara. That was amazing. Ooh. Feels good, right? It really feels good to know there's only love. And it really is the truth. I'm knowing that I'm wanting to share with you my journey to this truth, because sometimes I think that we perhaps talk up here like at our like knowing that we know this, but it didn't just poof into our heads, and we got it like right away. And someone asked me a question today, this week, not today, but how do you stay so positive? It was somebody wanting to know. We're in the Science of Mind Foundations class, and everybody's eyes are wide open, and we're just looking at life and just going, really? Really? I have the power to change my life? Poof? Well, not really. Yes, in essence, but, that's why I wanted to share myself, because I wrote a blog about it this week. I don't know if you all read my blog or not, but I'm just going to go into it a little bit. But when I came to this teaching, I was like in a really, probably one of the worst times and the best times in my life. I had no money. I had just left a marriage of 27 years. I was in Los Angeles at 45 years old trying to make a career as an actress. I had severe sciatica, like that I could hardly stand up, which I later found out was all about my guilt and not being able to stand up on my own, right? I believe in that stuff. But I didn't know it at the time because I had just come to this teaching, and that was when I found the teaching, was in Los Angeles when I walked into a Science of Mind church with Dr. Reverend Marlene Morris. And she said, she said, you can have your heart's desire. And I was like, really? Did I believe her? Was I positive? Was I a positive thinker? No, I wasn't. In fact, she kind of, like a light bulb went off in my head. That maybe was a poof, but it didn't seem like one at the time. But it went off. Something went in within me that sounded like it was the truth. But it took me a long time to get it, a long time to start living it, a long time to release my sciatica. When I say a long time, I'm talking months, sometimes years. But it was so important to me not to release my sciatica or get over my guilt from my marriage or any of those things. What was so important to me was to try to understand this thing, to try to make it work in my life. That was the most important thing to me. I didn't care that much about the rest of the stuff. I mean, I was still experiencing it, and I was still having trouble with money and all this stuff. But this truth that I was hearing, that things could get better, I believed that more than buying into my conditions. I believed it more, and I knew that something could change. I just knew it. And I just kept working at it. I took classes. I immersed myself in the teaching. I read that textbook back there when I couldn't even understand what Ernest Holmes was saying. I just grabbed onto anything that I could. And at the same time, I was still suffering. That's what I think is what I want to say. It didn't go away like really fast, but it was so important to me that I just gave into it and just said, you know what, I'm on this journey. And I never wanted to turn back. I mean, I stood there with that sciatica and a dress rehearsal for something, and I remember the pain shooting up and down my leg. And I was in so much pain, but I was like, no, this is where I'm supposed to be. I want to be here. I want to be singing. I want to do this. And I want to be with these people. And I just kept going, and I just kept going. And then things started to get better and better. They just started to get better and better and better and better because I stuck at it. I stuck with it. So when we think that things are going to happen really quick, and I'm not saying they can't, they can happen really quick. It always seems like when it happens, then when it happens, it seems like a miracle. Oh, all of a sudden I get it. Or all of a sudden, my bank account's full and it wasn't before. Or all of a sudden I'm out of debt. No, it is, because what's happening is, it's like Reverend Diane said in her quote from Isaiah, it's already there. It's already been answered. Before we call, it's already there, because we're not creating anything. All we're doing is stepping into it and revealing something that's already there. That's why we're never lost, because it's already there, and all we have to do is open up to it. And if we feel like we can't do that right now, or it's difficult, or our lives are difficult, my my invitation is to just keep sticking with it, to keep sticking with it, if that's what you want to do. Sticking with that idea that there's a power within you that moves through you, that breathes you, that lives you, that wants you to be successful, that wants you to have all. Because that's why we exist, is to express this power in the most magnificent way. And when we're in our trials and our tribulations, you know, it's just another way to go deeper. That's the way I look at it. When I was in my, I just kept going deeper and going deeper and going deeper. And like I said, I didn't care. Because nothing really poofs into existence, as I said, or nothing really disappears, which poof really means is making something disappear. We're actually saying that it's poofing it into existence, but the real definition is making something disappear. Nothing really disappears. It just changes form. And I think that's the most important thing that we have to remember, is all we're doing is changing energy. The energy is there. Now we know it through quantum physics and everything else, that the energy, Ernest Holmes knew it in his day. He knew there was some type of energy that was moving through everything that was creating. So it can never die. We already know that. That energy can never die. They've worked with it in science, and they say there's this energy, it just changes forms. And now knowing that it changes forms as people perceive, as they look at things differently, it changes forms. And that's what this philosophy is all about, is perception, looking at life differently, even in the middle of trials and tribulations, that we find a new way of looking at it. This whole thing that's happening in our political system right now is energy changing form. And one side is coming together with the other side, and the side, the divine presence, the good, the God, the light, the love, whatever you want to call it, is trying its best right now to move, but it can't force us. It's moving, though, and it is bound to be successful because love conquers everything. It might not look like it at times, but love conquers everything. And it always does, if you look back. And why do we fall back? Because we forget. We keep moving forward and forgetting and forgetting. So energy never changes. So that's why, for those of you that don't know about our bracelets, we decided to join the complaint-free world. And there's a few left back there, and if there's not enough and you decide you want to do it, you can make up your own. But take the ones that are left. But you only take it if you want to. But what I found from doing this is I've gotten real aware of how much complaining about stuff and gossiping and all of that pulls my life back and takes away from me being able to move my life forward. So what I've learned from this is it's a magic bracelet. And it fits really well with our theme this month of magic. Because I am so aware now of when I am ready to delve into somewhere that I don't belong delving into with my mind, unless I want to bring more of that thing to me, that I can now stop myself and reframe myself in a way that's beneficial. Does it mean that we're walking around like zombies going, everything is good, everything is good? No. We're not doing that. What we're saying is, where is the good in this, and how can I reframe it so I am doing something positive with this information and not taking it and escalating it more into something else. I couldn't believe, like, before I started doing this, I mean, I consider myself, evolved. I mean, I consider I've been working on this thing for like 20 years. Now, I won't say I'm 65 years old and I started in the science about 20 years ago. So I've been really working on it. And I thought, but then Patrick and I have spent a lot of quiet moments this week. Because we wanted to go into those conversations, but we realized that we couldn't. And so we had to reframe it in our minds before we could speak the words. So this is not about just saying, oh, it's hot out. That's not a complaint. So it's not that. You know what it is. I don't I don't have to tell you what it is. I don't have to. It's something for everyone. It's something different for everyone too, and it's a different way of approaching it for everyone. So, but it is a magic bracelet, because what I'm doing what I said before, I'm transforming energy. The energy's there. I've just been putting all my energy in one way of thinking, and now I'm taking it and changing it into something else, and therefore the form changes. It has to change eventually because I'm looking at it differently, and it changes. Does it seem like a miracle? Does it seem like a poof? Yes, sometimes it does, like I said. So, Ernest Holmes wrote, "A sense of real completion can only come to that soul that realizes its unity with the great whole." Until we realize that we're in charge and we're one with the great whole, and the great whole, whatever you want to call that, God, universe, spirit, is moving through us, and we're one with that, and all duality disappears, we do change our lives. We cannot help but doing it. And as I said in the class, the Science of Mind class, we're like on this line, and some of us, God is who I am is over here, and God is out there is over here, the God I beseech to. And we're all in different parts of that line, moving toward this part. And it's okay wherever we are, because God is to us whatever we are to it. So it moves through us just as we live and understand it. And there's nothing wrong with any of it. But what I know is that it's all spirit, it's all energy, and we, in any moment, can change the course, as Ernest says, of causation by giving it a new idea. So we're never stuck. We don't believe in karma in this philosophy. Karma can be changed in an instant. In an instant. We don't have to live out a lifetime because of something we did when we were 20, or something we think we did in a past life, or any of that stuff. We can change it in an instant by thinking something new and working from that place. So is it poof? Is it magic? Yes, it is. I think it is, because we have this great power within us that we get to use, and we get to change energy. We're alchemists. I think that's what alchemists do, right? We're changing energy with our minds, basically, and with acting from that place. So I am so grateful for this bracelet. I'm grateful for this philosophy, because it has shifted my life. I can't even imagine what I would be now without it. I don't know how just don't know how they do it. I don't, but I'm sure they do in their own way. But for me, I'm just grateful. So if I had to say one last thing, I would just say, poof. So it is. Okay. Barbara has a song for us.
This song is by the local group Soul Good Family. Here we are, sharing our hearts and our minds, lifting consciousness all the time. Here we are, sharing our hearts and our minds, lifting consciousness all the time, lifting consciousness all the time. On the road to creation, we're rocking good vibration. Love is our solution to the earthly complication. Blessed with opportunity to strengthen our community. Open up and you will see we're consecrating unity. Here we are, sharing our hearts and our minds, lifting consciousness all the time. Here we are, sharing our hearts and our minds, lifting consciousness all the time, lifting consciousness all the time. Here we are, sharing our hearts and our minds, lifting consciousness all the time. Here we are, sharing our hearts and our minds, lifting consciousness all the time, lifting consciousness all the time. Together our culture's strong, vote for freedom, keep it on. Reflections of the light of dawn, songs of love, so sing along. Melodies come from the sky, coming through to I and I. Show us how to live and why we've got to keep vibrations high. Here, join me. Here we are, sharing our hearts and our minds, lifting consciousness all the time. Here we are, sharing our hearts and our minds, lifting consciousness all the time, lifting consciousness all the time, lifting consciousness all the time.
Wonderful. Sharing our hearts and our minds. That's what we're doing, right? Yeah. It's good to see. I've seen some faces that aren't new, but I see they're back from some long trips, and I just welcome all of you back. That's the beautiful thing about living in Kauai, on Kauai, that when I first came here, people were coming and going, and it was just like, it was a little rattling at first. It was like, aloha, aloha, aloha. And then I got used to it as we became a global community. And then realizing that that is actually the benefit of our global family, is that we keep having families coming and going, and we're always here no matter what, even if we're on the island. So I feel very blessed to have our family home too from the mainland. Esther and Reverend Nancy and our beautiful Marilyn are here too. And it's just, they've been a family for a long time. Even if you don't know them, get to know them. They're beautiful people. So with that being said, thank you. No. Oh no, you guys, there's no poofing on this one, you know. But I do want to add one thing to Rita's talk, because she told you, she said the worst and the best. Remember that? But she only told you the worst, so I have to assume that I was the best? Is that? I always say if she won't mention it, I will. So all kidding aside, I'm going to do a little review from this beautiful month of magic. Our first week was the question, do you believe in magic? Still probably asking that now and then. And then we found that we could think outside that box. And sometimes we put ourselves into a box and then find out there's really no such thing as a box, except for the name we give it. And then on our third week, we got really daring and did some hocus pocus and realized it was all about focus. That's how we allow things to unfold in our lives. And then last week, we did Your Word is Your Wand and introduced the magic bracelet. And for those of you who are wondering what day, it's a 21-day thing, and I know all of you inquiring minds are going, I wonder what day they're on. Well, we started it 10 days ago, and so I stayed lovingly in the power of one for 3 days. And now I am entering the 7th day, which is not looking for applause, but if I were, that would be the moment. But I've realized it's not really about that at all. And I left you last, it's not about the days, it's about the awareness. This is the awareness bracelet. I could care less, really, about the days in which I get to say, 21, 20. As a matter of fact, I was expressing with Michelle today that one of my fears, if I were to have a fear, would be that I would get to day 20 and have a rant. So there's a part of you is like going, 1 is a very wonderful number. And so I left you last week with this statement that has stuck with me all week. And if you weren't here, I'm going to repeat it for you. I said, I will never again believe you if you tell me you do not have the power. I will never, ever believe you. But I will believe you if you say, I am choosing not to use my power. And how important it is to remember that the power is within. Now, something drastic happened to me, and I have to share it with you, because I have a magic wand. Hello. Hello. Now, let's just say that if I believed that this had power, I would be up a creek right now, would I not? So my point is, there's always another wand if you choose to do it. The Harry Potter one. And Everett, for those of you who remember, actually gave me these before he had left. And this says a lot to me. Because if I do not believe in my own power, then I'm in a lot of trouble if the person, place, or thing that I turn my power over to leaves me, breaks. If I believe that this thing can make something happen and then it breaks, I'm alone. And sometimes I think we feel that sometimes, that this power that we call God, that we call good, isn't there, that we need to find the magic wand. And this has no magic either, except the magic that I bring to it. I have a choice at all times what to do with this. Wow. Wouldn't it be wonderful, though, if we could just poof our troubles away? Right? Seems like we spend a lifetime, poof, poof, all the time realizing that we're always full of poof. But I'll tell you what I can poof. I cannot poof. I know it's good, right? I worked on that one all week, Esther. I'm not. Poof, making things disappear. We're always wanting to get rid of something. And what that says to me is that we perhaps are not satisfied because we're always trying to get rid of something. Poof, poof, get away, get away. But something that we can poof and that we are in control of is our thoughts and our beliefs. And I've spent this week really doing a lot of poofing old beliefs away and allowing myself, and this no complaining thing, it is just amazing. Now, as I also said this morning, there's a part of me that misses it dearly. And I really, because I've learned some things from it, that it sometimes is the only conversation we're actually having. Don't get all like, I know you go, because this is not about shame wanding. This is about remembering that when all of that is there and in the silence, there is so much information to gain. Rita and I had a moment. We went somewhere to an event. Doesn't matter because then I'd be gossiping if I told you. No, we went to an event and we came and I looked at Rita and we just had nothing to say. And because I had all this stuff I thought was going to go on, and when I looked, I said, so? What did you think? And guess what it forces me into? I am looking for the good in every single thing because I'm not getting this bracelet on the other wrist. So I am looking everything, every place, everywhere I can find it. And even when there's moments that it looks like there's nowhere to find it, just turn on TV, you'll know what I mean. But guess what? My job as an ambassador of good is to find the good. And someone said, oh, that's kind of Pollyanna. As I've said many times, I am through with the apologies, folks. I am not going to apologize for wanting to live a positive life. I'm not going to. Can everything always be positive? Perhaps not in that world. But in the silence, I'm saying much is heard. So, I was also working with this. If you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all, Thumper, from Bambi. Like I said, many silent moments that have been existing. But I am learning so much. And it's not about, oh, what a good boy I am. All of that stuff, like, I didn't complain, I'm a good boy, and this, but no, and there's no complaining patrols going out there. The ones that go, is that not? It's a lot of work. And that's when you want to take the bracelet and throw it out because you're putting so much, once again, pressure upon yourself. It is not that I don't think about complaining, and I really, if you don't hear anything in this talk, take this one. It is not about me not wanting to complain. It's about me choosing not to. That's all. That's all. It's not about that I don't see things and go, wow, but I realized all this unnecessary opinions that I'm declaring as facts. Oh, we know, right? Oh my God. And the reframing just allows me to breathe. Because I was in a situation I was about, that's exactly what I did. And I went, look how nice they were to want to arrange that for me. And it forced me to see the good first, and by the time I did, then it wasn't. So I have a list of 12 I want to share with you what I learned on my no complaining vacation this week. So here we go. Number 1, think before I speak. If you want them, I'll email them to you. Or you can do what you're probably saying right now. Is it going to get away from this? How long is this bracelet thing going to last? Look for the good and for solutions first. And then complaining becomes non-existent. There's no way if I am only looking for good, and I don't even need these, do I? When I am speaking, I reframe it first in my mind to make sure that it is worthy to hear, as something that will benefit myself and others. Learned a lot this week, did I not? Tell the facts, not the opinion of the story. The facts, I know it takes very little time and the conversation isn't as long, but it can be still as rewarding. I realize that complaining is disguised as communication and lives in most conversations. Love myself when I go back to day 1. That's with everything. Love yourself through it all. Love yourself through it all. This project is all about awareness and not shame. How quiet life can be when you're not criticizing, gossiping, and complaining are taken out of that equation. It gets a little quiet for a moment. And let me just remember something. I don't complain and criticize and do that because I think it's the right thing to do. I do it because I'm not aware. And I've been doing it for a long time. And I was taught that that's what conversations you do. You get in with one another and you problem solve. That's what they call complaining sometimes. We're just problem solving. I'm becoming a loving guard at the gate of my thoughts. Yeah. Gossip is like poison and is definitely a disease magnet. I know it's like, some of it's a little harsh. Standing up for oneself, this is the big question of the week. Standing up for oneself and letting the person know directly that's involved, know where we stand, takes away the need to gossip. That's what I found. I wasn't sitting there and somebody would, if I felt I was insulted, I wouldn't go, that is good, no problem, purple, purple, purple. It's okay, walk on me, walk on me. No, what it says is that I go to you immediately. That hurt my feelings. I know it probably wasn't intentional, but my feelings are now hurt. We had our children on Friday, and they're beautiful, and I had a moment where I expressed what I felt. Something that had happened that I didn't feel necessarily respected. And it was beautiful because the kids got it. What gossiping and what complaining is bye kids, Rita, they were so undone, and they were never stop this, and that's complaining. I dealt with them, and then we never had to say another word. Now, standing, the last one is, it can be fun, please hear this, to witness the self in this complaint-free world. It's actually been fun. I have moments I miss it. And perhaps I will, because I'm still learning the difference between complaining and communicating. And the thing that I've learned the most about seeing the good in everything is, wow, there really is good in everything. That's the biggest lesson I've had. I've looked for it and I found it. You look for something, you're going to find it. And then when I went into the silence, which there's been some silent moments, oh my God. And you guys know me really well. The spoken word is just a part of who I am. But this morning I was in meditation and I went to write my blog and I had nothing to really put on it. And my life is very full. So I just took my time to listen to in the silence. And I could feel my body vibrating. I could hear my body talking. I could hear organs in my circulation, everything working together in such a harmony that I was in awe. And I remember saying, "You're doing all of this for me? You're orchestrating all of this incredible harmony for me. A trillion cells, the army of trillion cells has only one purpose, and that's to operate Patrick. And you have the same thing. And it's all backed and operated by love. It is all operated by love. It's time, once again, to live life to the fullest. Whether or not we're complaining or we're not, that does not matter, my friends. We have shamed ourselves long enough. We certainly don't need a bracelet to add to that. But I do invite you, forget the bracelet, I do invite you to be a loving, loving guard of your thoughts, at the gate of your thoughts. And be your friend, the inner child work, and I'll end with that. What people forget about the inner child work that I am so passionate about is that inner you is the part that has never been touched by anything but good. It is your healer, it is your best friend, and it has a voice, and that voice is powerful. So I only invite you to do one thing. Do not abandon ever that part of yourself that is so filled with this power that we speak of, that never, ever, ever needs anything. So I will end the same way that my wonderful co-spiritual director, let's hope it doesn't really work, poof. Namaste.
Wow. Thank you, honey. That was great. I like those 12 things. Okay.
What's it time for?
It's time for our giving. And we thank you in advance for supporting Center for Spiritual Living Kauai as we bring this message of the science of mind and spirit to the world. And as you know, 10% of what you give here goes out into the world in our tithing program. And in October, it's going to actually be going out to Kamalani Playground, a good portion of it, because we do that in October and April. But it will also go to suicide prevention, too. So let's read our affirmation in the program. I freely and joyously give from the abundance and fullness of my overflowing wealth, knowing my gift goes with love as it blesses and blesses Center for Spiritual Living Kauai, my life and the world. And so it is. Join us for the gratitude song in the program. And thank you. And thank you to everyone online. for your support.
I give thanks for life from my roots up to my crown. I give thanks for love that's within and all around. I give thanks for the rain, sacred waters of rebirth. I give thanks for the sun always shining on the earth. I give thanks for I am a conscious co-creator. I give thanks for I am my own liberator. I give thanks for you, you who shine so true. Aloha, I honor the divinity in you. Mahalo keakua, mahalo nui loa, mahalo kahonua. Me ke kaima kama kani a me kahua. Mahalo keakua, mahalo nui loa, mahalo kahonua. Me ke kaima kama kani a me kahua.
I give thanks for the divine abundance flowing in and through each one of us as these gifts, these tithes, these offerings. I am so blessed to be a center for the one life to give its good through me and through each one of us today. And so I honor the divine flow of good in and through all of our lives. Mahalo.
Mahalo.
Thank you so much. All right, I think we have some children.
Uh-oh. I
Thanks
see
to our-
something in their hands of...
Oh, we've got
It's
George
looking a little
here.
crafty, if you ask me.
Okay, be careful of the speaker.
I'm here all day, though.
I'm a substitute teacher today. Actually, Janice did all this kind of stuff. They did their inner dolls so they could feel their inner spirits. And you guys are going to say anything?
That you wanted to talk.
Yes, it is. Okay, these are your children.
So we have something to say to you and your inner
George, too. All right, it's in your program.
doll. We all have an inner
Is everybody
doll.
ready to give
Ready?
them their blessing? You are amazing. You are perfect. You are magnificent. And we love you. Thank you. And let's send that blessing out into the world to
That's
all the
right,
kids.
that's
Yay.
good.
Thank you, George. All right. Yay. So
I
with
know
our
those dolls are
practitioners
great,
come
right?
forward that are going to serve today, Reverend Diane, and we have a special treat. We have Reverend Nancy, who was my mentor when I was becoming a minister. Yes.
And
And she's here visiting, and she'll be up here.
Dr. Peggy's
And-
here, too.
And Dr. Peggy, are you coming up? Is she coming up? Oh, she'll be back. Okay. And Michelle, and is anybody else? And Rob back there. Yeah. So what this is all about is if there is something you would like to know the truth about, something in your life that maybe you'd like to change and know something greater about, these wonderful people are trained to take that thought and reverse it. Take that belief and bring the true belief, which is that you are good, you are God, you are life, you are wonderful. So this is not a session. All it is a spiritual mind treatment. You'll just come up and say, you know what, I'm having some issues with money in my life or relationship or whatever, and they will treat for it. All right? If you want a session with a practitioner, which is very powerful, it takes about an hour, 50 minutes to an hour, and there is a charge for that. And there are brochures in the back so you can read more about that. But this is this is our healing modality in the science of mind and spirit, and take my word, it works. So, so I don't want to say take advantage of them, but utilize them. Utilize these beautiful people. All right, so is that it?
Oh, we just want to say one thing about the
yes.
building fund. We have our building fund for our future because we're here for another 2 years, and then we must expand. And then we also have kids in the kitchen, so we need to really. We had 10 last week.
Yeah,
and
we
it
all
was
need to
kids in
treat
the kitchen.
about that.
And so what we have our building fund, we have the account, and just as a reminder, this is in addition to our sustainability here. In this space, because we must sustain here in order to get over to the next one. But in addition, and we have what? Just ballpark?
We're close to 3,000. We might even be over it. I'm going to put it on a plaque or something
See what
so we know where we're at.
What a change
Yeah.
makes.
And I have
Yes.
that's without counting what's in there right now. So
Perfect.
Yay.
Yes.
We're good, right? Get in there.
And also, there's the box in the back if they want to write something to keep you in our prayer this week.
We have a treatment box in the back.
And so
and
lots of
just
good-
one added thing, we're kind of all over the place right now, but everything we do here as far as spiritual mind treatment is concerned is confidential. So no one's going to be talking about whatever you bring up here or whatever you put in that box, all right, or whatever you talk about in this session. It is confidential. Yes.
And one last thing before I go. I'd like to talk to all your inner children for a moment. I will see you Thursday at 6 o'clock, and you can have your adult self sign up at the information table because I can see all your beautiful inner children, and the inner you just deserves this workshop. So we'll see you on Thursday.
So let's join together to sing our closing song. Thank you, Barbara and Luis.
Everyone like to stand?
Stand, please. It's the same one we sang last week.
So
Sound
we're
a little
getting to
different
know
because
this.
it's played on a piano, but it's the same song.
Today is the day I will change my luck. I will find 3 pennies and they'll be heads up. I will walk like a queen in my tennies and jeans, 'cause I know where I come from. From the stars and the sun, from the magical one, I am part of this thing called life, yeah. From the known to unseen and everything in between, I am part of this thing called life. I am one with this thing called life. Today is the day I'll remember to see only good, only God happening through you and me. I will not forget all the treasures due me, 'cause I know where I come from. From the stars and the sun, from the magical one, I am part of this thing called life, yeah. From the known to unseen and everything in between, I am part of this thing called life. I am one with this thing called life.
And what I know about that is, yes, we are one with this thing called life. We are one with this power, this presence. It's moving through us right here and right now and always. And I'm so grateful for that. And I'm so grateful for today and coming together to know more about this and to embody more of this. I know that is what we do. And I give great thanks for the people who made it possible for us to be here today, which is everyone that was in service. I give thanks for Michelle for doing the announcements. I give thanks for the Malama team, who was Walt, Emma, and who? Luis, thank you. And I give special thanks to Reverend Diane for doing our meditation, that beautiful treatment to ground us. To Rob back there, live streaming, thank you so much, Rob, for bringing our message to the world. And Jonathan for making sure we're heard. And the beautiful flowers that are still here from Peter and Arlena from last week are just eternal flowers. And thank you to Emma for bringing our birthday cake today, yay. And Ron Stover and his team back there who always make sure that we're nourished and nurtured. And Roseanne in the bookstore, Malia, I think, is back in the bookstore today, too. And our special guest, Barbara, today. Thank you for the music. And Louise, who's always just keeping the beat for us. Yeah. And our collection stewards, Sue and Roseanne, were the collection stewards today to take care of our donations. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And for George, where are you, George? He's gone again. But George, thank you so much for taking care of our children today, and for Janice also. And did I forget anybody? I heard you say something. No. All right. Oh, and everyone online, thank you for joining us today. I'm so grateful again for this time we've had together, knowing that as we have met here, we have raised the consciousness of this planet just by being here and thinking together in unison of good and of peace and of love. So I am so grateful, and I just take this word I've spoken and I release it as law into law as we affirm together, and so it is.
Today is the day I'll be more of myself. Love my skin where I've been and everyone else. No more push, no more pull, simply flow as I go, 'cause I know where I come from. From the stars and the sun, from the magical one, I am part of this thing called life, yeah. From the known to unseen and everything in between, between. I am part of this thing called life. From the stars and the sun, from the magical one, I am part of this thing called life, yeah. From the known to unseen and everything in between, I am part of this thing called life. I am one with this thing called life, yeah. I am one with this thing called life.
Everyone, aloha.